comes to something as significant as a possible war with Iran?
Joe, the Trump administration for months has been moving toward the confrontation we're watching now, advertising that it was imposing crippling sanctions on Iran. Iran's oil exports have fallen over the last year from 2.6 million barrels a day to now under 1 million barrels. Just a dramatic drop in exports.
How much is that impacting them economically?
So here are some of the examples that I hear from the Middle East. In Lebanon, Iran's proxy Hezbollah has cut salaries and told a lot of people, we can't pay you the money that we have been in the habit of doing. In Syria, where Iranian proxies were so important in shoring up Bashar al-Assad, they're having to reduce those numbers. They're feeling the squeeze. Even the units that are most elite in the Revolutionary Guard Corps. So the point is that the Trump program of crippling sanctions, in a sense, is succeeding all too well. And my sources tell me that about 2 weeks ago, the Iranians clearly made a decision that they couldn't just wait this president out. Their thought had been, let's wait until November 2020, January 2021, and then we'll get a new president and these sanctions will go away. I think that they have realized that the waiting game doesn't work. So what are they doing? I think we're seeing an effort by Iran to counter-disrupt in small, deniable ways. Meanwhile, the U.S. is moving in enormous amounts of military force. And we have the classic situation in which miscalculation by either side, by that IRGC guy in the speedboat or the guy on the destroyer who's scanning the horizon, and somebody makes a mistake. So it's a dangerous situation. Final thing I'd say, Joe, is that this president, who in a sense is allergic to Middle East wars, we know that about him, is looking at this gathering storm and saying, hey, wait a minute, this is not where I want to be. With Donald Trump, you never were sure. What was all this pressure against Iran leading to? Was it leading to a war? I think Trump still imagines that the Iranians will capitulate, will come to the table, will make the super deal that Barack Obama never could make.
But David,
they're not ready. They are in no mood to bargain with the United States.
Right, but David, you brought this up yesterday. This is another great example of foreign leaders figuring Trump out. Yeah, I remember you being on the show and accurately pointing out the first year that Donald Trump had made the Chinese and the Iranians and many people who considered themselves our adversaries had made them off balance. But now they figured him out. And the Iranians have figured out that Donald Trump is all bluff. This is all a bluffing game. He's not going to go to war in the Middle East. So it seems to me this proves your point. They know he's just bluffing and is not going. He'll send military presence over there, but he's not going to attack Iran, and they know it.
I think you're right, Joe. The world has figured out this kind of model that Trump uses: fire and fury, apply sanctions, threaten this and that, but in the end, what he wants to do is make a deal. And so we've had an example of that with North Korea, with the China trade talks, and now with Iran. And people have decided, just let the storm blow itself out. The problem is that at certain points, Trump or anybody else, if he's ignored, doubles down. He's done that in these China trade talks. He keeps thinking China's going to capitulate, and it doesn't. And we get deeper into a trade war, and our financial markets rightly say, what the heck's going on here? And I worry that the situation in Iran is going well beyond what Trump imagined. He said as recently as yesterday, well, they'll want to talk to me. They'll want to come back to the table. Sort of imagining that he'll be rescued by Ayatollah Khamenei. That is not a good bet for an American president.
No.
Sorry.
Wow. You got to wonder. We're going to have much more on the tensions with Iran ahead. Senator Lindsey Graham says he's ready to support President Trump against Iran, but it would help to know